Hey guys, it's Brad the Buff. I got my buff in my head and I'm ready to go. I wanted to do a video on backpacking food that's really around the weight of the food. I've done a previous video about, some stuff I typically get at the store, but this one is really going to be orientated to trying to get your pack down lighter by being more nutritious, more calorically dense food. I'm going to explain it in this video. First thing about these foods is I wanted to find things that you could get at most stores. I'm not sure they're going to be at all of them, but I went to several different ones and they had these items, so these are readily available foods. The second thing is I am focusing on caloric density. So everything I'm going to be talking about is in calories per ounce or protein per ounce. So, it's not really focused at taste. And I am not a nutritionist, so these are my best guesses. I try to stay healthy, I try to stay up on things, so I'm not trying to do a complete diet, but I'm trying to get you out on the trail with okay, healthy food. We're talking about, a balance of carbs, of fats, and of proteins. So everything is going to be in calories per ounce. And if you want to know how I did the math, it's pretty simple. I took the amount of servings, I times it by the calorie per serving, and then I divided it by the ounces, the net ounces on the package, and that gave me my calories per serving. So some other things to know, 28 grams is approximately 1 ounce. It takes about 3 tablespoons approximately to make an ounce, so 1 tablespoon is approximately 1/3 an ounce. So just knowing some of that math, I'll put it up here in the video, but that's how I did most of my research. So let's start off with the first group of foods that we have here. That's going to be our calorically dense foods. These are mostly fats and oils, okay? So these are our calorie packers. My goal is to make everything average out to about 150 calories per meal or per sit down. That's what I want, 150 calories per ounce. Most of your oils are going to be about 240 calories per ounce. These are knockers. And some people will take these straight. For me, these are things I'm going to mix in with my meals. So this is olive oil, you have your avocado oil, and you have your coconut oil. These are some really popular ones. I like these because they come in the bags. And then your butter. Butter is about 200 calories per ounce. So it's not quite as much as these. Still very calorically dense. And that's usually all of your calories in these scenarios are coming off of fats. My preferred choice is the avocado oil and the coconut oil because one, it goes great with your savory meals. I'm going to take maybe and put 1/3 of maybe 1 tablespoon, so that's about 1/3 serving, in with my pastas or my rices just to get the caloric count up. I also like putting it in with my coffee. It works well in that scenario. And my coconut oil is nice because it's slightly sweet. So this goes great in your snack food, in your breakfast foods, just to get the caloric density up. So once again, these are about 240 calories per ounce. Butter is about 200 calories per ounce. And they're great to mix in with other foods. I don't think I personally would want to eat them on their own, but just to get, once again, to pack the other things that you're eating with a little bit more and still make them tasty, I like to use them for that purpose. My next grouping over here is going to be what I call my superfoods. So these are things I'm going to mix in with other foods or I'm going to use as my base part of my meals to make sure I do get enough calories. The first thing is this almond flour. I found this out over the last few months. I've been making different things with it. It works great as a base for a cereal, almost like grits or something. I use this. About 1 ounce of this has 170 calories. It's also packed with protein. I believe it has about 6.5 grams of protein per ounce. So this almond flour you can use and mix it in with other things. I use it as my base for my cereal in the morning. A cool superfood because it has so much calories per ounce as well as the protein per ounce. The second is my flaxseed. I believe this has about 150 calories per ounce. and it's also, I think, somewhere in the 5 to 6 grams of protein per ounce. You can mix a tablespoon of this in or there with other things. Same with my chia seeds, has like omega-3s and stuff like that in it. About 150 calories per ounce. So these chia seeds are great just as a superfood. These hemp seed hearts are a great like dinner food. These come in at about 160 calories per ounce. They are about, I believe, 7-8 grams of protein per ounce. Have a lot of nutritional value. They are great as a side for dinner. And once again, you can mix other things in with them, like the flaxseed or the chia. I'd never had cocoa nibs before until I researched these. 190 calories per ounce, 4 grams of protein per ounce. These taste, they're almost, you know, you would expect them to taste like chocolate, but they're almost like a slightly bitter nut. They're very much like, if you've ever had grape nuts, the cereal, they kind of have that consistency. They had a great consistency to mix in with other things. At 190 calories per ounce, a great antioxidant. These things are awesome to mix in with my breakfast. Just to go back, the almond flour tastes like almonds. You can imagine they're slightly sweet. That's why I like them for breakfast. And these hemp seeds are a little bit more, they are nutty and creamy, but they're not very sweet. More of, I'm trying to think, more pasta-y kind of. That's why I like them as a dinner. The other superfood and the last that I have is I get these Lano Life bone broth sticks. For a half an ounce, you're getting in 10 grams of protein. That is amazing. You can put them in your food, or you can also do them as a drink at night, as a hot drink. They're delicious either way. They add a lot of flavor. My favorite is the Thai curry. But to get 10 grams of protein in half an ounce, a lot of amino acids for quick recovery. So I like to carry these just because they're so light for the amount of protein that they pack. The next category that I have is kind of your protein packers for snacking, and that's going to be most of your meat-based stuff. My favorite is these Duke's smoked sausages. The smoked sausages are the lightest with the highest calorie count that are also the tastiest. You're looking at about 140 to 150 calories per ounce, and also in that 6 to 7 grams of protein per ounce. I love snacking on these. They have a lot more calories than your typical, you know, everybody brings the beef jerky. These are much more calorically dense than beef jerky because of the fat they have in them, but they have almost as much protein per ounce. So this is my preferred. You can bring beef jerky. I wouldn't recommend it. Once I did my research, I think this is a much better ounce because these are only about 80 calories per serving. They do have a little bit more protein per serving, about 3 more grams per serving. But if you're adjusting the rest of your eating schedule right, that shouldn't be an issue. Especially if you're going to subsidize with, say, the bone broth. So I am not going to be bringing beef jerky on any more of my trips. The other one that I used to bring was these tuna packets. These things are not calorically dense at all. I really regret it. You're only getting about 30 calories per ounce, and you're only getting about 7 grams of protein per ounce. So there's some other health benefits in them, but for the weight, I don't believe it's worth it. I will not be bringing the tuna anymore with me. The other one is cheeses. Cheeses are going to run between about 100 and 110 calories per ounce. There's a lot of different types of cheeses, so it fluctuates greatly. They do carry, you know, a decent amount of protein per ounce, somewhere in the 5 to 6 range. The bad thing about the cheeses is they do spoil. They're not particularly calorically dense, but it is quite tasty. It is a nice snack, so I wouldn't say for or against, but you can do other things that have a little bit, that are packed a little bit denser than the cheese. So some trips I may have it and some I may not. The other one that's great is pepperoni. Pepperoni is right up here with the sausages at about 150 calories per ounce and about 4 to 5 grams of protein per ounce. So that'll mostly be what I carry with me for my meat-based snack. It's mostly going to be these smoked sausages and the pepperoni, and I'm happy with that because I love both those things. You can put them in your food, you can use them as a snack. So, you know, I think I'm going to get rid of the beef jerky altogether, the tuna, and sometimes I'll bring the cheeses just for the extra flavor. Sometimes I won't. So the next category is kind of like your meal stuffers. So these are things when you sit down to eat, you're going to have as a side dish or as a main dish. Pasta typically is going to be right around 100 calories per ounce. It doesn't give you that many proteins per ounce, maybe 2 to 3. I am not a big pasta fan because I feel like it takes a lot of space in your pack, except for maybe spaghetti. But for me, I don't think it's really worth it because there are a lot of empty calories. But if you really enjoy pasta, plus you typically have to bring some kind of sauce to flare it up a little bit, which is additional weight. So you can bring pasta about 100 grams. Instead, what I like more than pasta is lentils. Lentils are about 105 to 110. So you're getting a little bit more calorically dense per ounce, but they're also about 6 to 7 grams of protein. So almost double the protein of pasta per ounce. And they have a lot of other additional nutritional value things in them. So for me, I like the texture of it better than pasta. There are other things, and also I don't have any rice out here, but rice is typically going to be right in your pasta, 100 calories per ounce. But I would prefer the lentils personally. Ramen, which is a backpacker staple, I will probably still bring these because I enjoy them so much. They are about 125 calories per ounce. I love ramen. It does have a lot of sodium per serving, which is actually good for you if you're hiking, and I don't have a lot of it in my other foods. I will probably mostly be bringing ramen as opposed to a pasta, and just because of the 125, and then I'm going to take, you know, one of my oils, probably my avocado oil, pour a little bit in there to make it a little bit more calorically dense to get up to my 150 calorie per ounce average. But, you know, I do like ramen. The only backfall, that's about it. There's really no other nutritional value other than the calories, but they are easy to make and they're lightweight. Instant potatoes, also very popular, about 110 calories per ounce. And they're also about 3 grams of protein per ounce. Very flexible food that you can do a lot of different things with. So I may bring these, I may not. They are quite tasty and easy to make. So they're a little bit better than your pastas. I'd rather bring this than the pasta, along with the lentils and the ramen. My next category is going to be your nuts and your nut butters. These are extremely valuable to get your calorie per ounce up because they tend to have a lot of calories while also providing a decent amount of protein and fats. Peanut butter is going to be around 170 calories per serving, with about 7 grams of protein per serving. It varies depending on which one you get, but anywhere from 160 to 180 is the range. I love peanut butter. They have these little squeeze packages that they come in that are really handy to pull out of your pocket and squeeze some in your mouth. The packaging on these can sometimes get you. Just the packaging is an extra 1.5 ounces on these plastic jars. I weighed it, but you know, it tastes great. You can use it on a lot of things. Calorically dense. Pecans are about 190 calories per ounce and about 4 or 5 grams of protein. I love pecans. It's one of your heavier nuts. So these are good to bring. Almonds are right about 170 calories per ounce, and you know, a little bit higher in protein per ounce than say your pecans. These are about 5 grams to 6 grams of protein per ounce, but I do love my almonds. You can get almond butter. These are right around 190. They're really nice when they come in these packages. You can get peanut butter this way. You can also get sun butter this way, which is just sunflower seeds, and those are about 190 calories per ounce as well. So you can bring a variety of different nut butters in single serving packages if you'd like. They're all pretty delicious. These Justins have various flavors. My favorite is the maple almond butter, but you know, once again, very calorically dense, 190 to 200 in calories per serving, 5 to 6 grams of protein per serving. If you love Nutella, that's hazelnut. These are about 160 calories per serving, and it's also very tasty. You can use this as a dessert dish or to put with other things. It goes great with breakfast if you really wanted to sweeten up. It can be used as a sweetener. So those are some of your nuts and nut butters. That's a huge part of my caloric density for my trips going forward is going to be found in this group. I'm going to use them in snacks and various other things. So then we get to my snack pile. So these are kind of standalone that you might want to grab on the trail. I found most of your granola mixes are going to be about 130 calories per ounce, and they're going to be around 4 grams of protein per ounce. If I don't mention the grams of protein per ounce, it's because basically it's less than 2 or 3. It's basically non-existent. But granola was about 130 calories per ounce. This is one of my favorite of all the snack foods that I found. Dried fruits are typically going to be around 100 calories per ounce. I used to bring these, but because they're not as dense as, say, some of my other foods, I probably will drop these off just because I don't think they're necessary. I can find other sweet things that I can use unless you just love dried fruits. But these are going to be at about 100 calories per ounce. I'll probably be taking those out. A lot of people love to bring tortillas. I don't think I will be at 80 calories per ounce. That's pretty thin at a calorie per ounce. It's going to be hard to get that average up. The good thing about these is you can do a lot with them. You can put peanut butter and honey and a few other things to get a nice dish. I could take and put pepperoni with a little olive oil on this, roll it up and carry it around with me during the day. So they are very flexible to make multiple snacks with. There's all kinds of things you can do with these, but at 80 calories per ounce, I'm not sure that I'm interested in carrying them. Potato chips, surprisingly, are actually pretty calorically dense. They're about 140, 150. My favorite is the Pringles packaging, just because you don't have to worry about them getting smashed if you put them in your bag. Plus, I can burn the cardboard on this if I'm starting a fire, so they do have a extra use to it. You'd still have to pack out the cap and the bottom, which is metal. But Pringles, about 150 calories per ounce. Same, out of all of the options, you can find a lot of crackers in about the 140 calorie per ounce. I like the wheat thins the most, but chicken and a biscuit, a bunch of others are right in there. So crackers, you can stack, you know, your cheese, your pepperoni on one, make a nice little tasty dish. So crackers, you can get it in that 140. Wheat thins, once again, about 130, 140 calories per ounce. People like muesli because it can be used as a breakfast food. It can be hot or cold food. If you're in a hurry, you just pour water over it, hot or cold. Basically, it's got about the caloric density of oatmeal. That's about 110 calories per ounce. It has, I don't know, about 2 to 3 grams of protein per ounce. I don't think I'll be carrying this with me. To me, it's not worth the extra weight, but a lot of people recommend this, so I did want to bring it up as a snack food. One that I found that was really interesting was the coconut cashew crisp by Simply Nature. These are 170 calories per ounce, 3 grams of protein, very calorically dense, and these things are super tasty. I really enjoyed eating them. It's hard not to eat too many of them if you're just sitting around your house, but they're, you know, they're salty, a little bit salty, but mostly sweet, would go great with coffee. But at 170 calories per ounce for a snack food, very calorically dense. There's your typical oatmeal cream pie slash fudge round slash Star Crunch slash just about any of the Little Debbie products. Those are going to be in about the 130 to 140 calorie per ounce range. I enjoy these just because it's a sweet snack. It's a nice dessert snack. I always look forward to eating them at 130. That is calorically dense. They're pretty much garbage for you in every other way other than they taste really good and they do provide a lot of calories per ounce. So if you enjoy these, they're worth bringing along. And then there's your good old-fashioned Cliff Bars. These are gonna run you about 125 calories per ounce. They're a good balance of everything, and they're easy because you can take them out. I prefer they came out with this sweet and salty line that I very much enjoy. I may still bring Cliff Bars with me because, you know, they're in that 120, 130 calorie per ounce range. They're probably a little bit better for you than, say, the oatmeal cream pies. They're easy to eat, but that's what you're looking at on your typical Cliff Bar. So my last food group that I'm going to get to is what I call my sweeteners or fillers. So these are things that you're probably not necessarily going to eat on your own, or though you could, but if you want to sweeten or add into a mix just to give them a little bit of extra flavor. I was a little bit shocked. This is unsweetened flake coconuts. These are about 190 to 200 calories per ounce. Very, very calorically dense. They taste great. If you love coconut, it's something that you can put in with, say, your almonds. And my next thing I want to bring up was, say, a little bit of chocolate. And you have yourself a great calorically dense snack that doesn't just have one flavor, but has a lot of things going on. So this is a great filler. You can put it in with your breakfast cereal just to get some extra calories in there. And like I said, this is the flaked coconut. This is unsweetened, and they're just dried out little coconut flakes, and they're pretty tasty. I really enjoy them. These dark chocolate chunks, to me, if you can keep them, they don't melt. The darker the chocolate, the less likely they are to melt. They melt at a lot higher heat than, say, milk chocolate. I like these ones. This was Private Selection dark chocolate chunks. They go great in your cereal. They go great in your mixes. They go great as a dessert. These are about 160 calories per ounce. The darker the chocolate, the more calorically dense you can get. This is 62%. I don't know, I just enjoyed eating them. They go great with everything. You can't go wrong with chocolate, so I'd highly recommend that. The other two are just kind of straight sweeteners. My favorite of these is honey, and I like these, what are these? Natural Nate's little packets. This is a half ounce. It's got 50 calories, so it's 100 calories per serving. You can put them in your tea at night if you like tea. You can put them in your mixes if you want to add something sweet to them. You can put them with your peanut butter. But I like these because they're one-time use, half an ounce per use. You can get a whole jar if you want. But honey is probably my favorite sweetener. Maple syrup is one. If you really enjoy maple, you could take it off a table where they have those little individual wrap packages. I just happen to have this giant one. And of course, there's always sugar. Those are both about 100 calories per ounce. Sugar or maple or honey, they're all about 100 calories per ounce. I think personally that the healthiest of the three is probably just the regular honey as opposed to sugar or maple syrup, and it's a little bit easier to carry. But those are the fillers. So I can put those, some mixes that you could make is, say I could take my honey, I could combine it in the morning with my almond, my chai, and my flaxseed and my chocolate. You have yourself a great breakfast cereal. Or I could take my lentils and provide them with my hemp seed and maybe some flaxseed, and that's another great meal. There's all kinds of fantastic combinations you can make here. These are just the base foods. I don't think I mentioned oatmeal. I did kind of on the side. It's about 110 calories per ounce. And so you could use it, but like I said, I plan on using the almond flour in the morning. But if you are interested in dropping your weight, I believe I'm going to be able to get down to 1.5 pounds to 2 pound max per day. Whereas before I was in the 2.5 to 3.5 pounds per day because I was bringing all kinds of stuff. I wasn't counting my food. So if I can cut 3 pounds off for a weekend trip, that is a tremendous difference. And you know, one of the reasons this came up is I'm doing a section where I've got to hike a week with what I have, and my backpack only carries about 20 pounds max. So I've got to get everything densed down. If I'm carrying 3 pounds per day, 3 pounds over 7 days, I'm at 21 pounds as opposed to, say, 2 pounds, which is only 14. That's a massive difference in what you're carrying. So I started just looking at the different foods I could get, try to build something that was nutritionally balanced as I could get it for a short period of time. If you're only going out for a weekend and you want to pack an extra pound of food of stuff that you just love to take, don't listen to this video. I'm just trying to give you some advice on to get into more of the ultralight and to really start minding your ounces and what you're packing. And so the greatest examples I can think of is for me getting rid of the tuna, getting rid of the beef jerky. These are things that didn't provide a ton of extra joy for my trip, but I threw them in there. But the calories per ounce really was costing me. So if you want to get your weight down and you want to have stuff that's readily available, these foods are out there for you, should help you on your backpacking trip. I'll put a bunch of notes in the comments section on this video to kind of help you as a guide, but I really hope this has helped you guys out, and I'll see you next video. Hey guys, if you like the video you just saw, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get alerted for any new videos that I may do, and check the links below for any information I described in the video. I'll try to put as much there as possible. Thanks for watching.